And I hope that you guys would do the same. And a part of doing the same is hopefully coming out with a product and really going full steam ahead and essentially making a better what's name for your future, a better situation for your future. So with that being said, we're going to move on to Bed Bath & Beyond. And I got a video from the CEO of Bed Bath & Beyond that I do want to play with you guys. But as before I play the video, I want to tee you guys up. So a lot of these companies, and again, this is what entrepreneurs, this is what business people do. And I interviewed Dr. Dave Smith, who he invented the Q collars. And I know it's NFL season coming up. And the Q collar is worn around the neck of a lot of NFL players, hockey players, soccer players, rugby players, name it, professionals. And he was talking about how when he first got started before the Q collar, he bought the intellectual property of a company for essentially pennies on the dollars because they were going through bankruptcy, and he added value to it. He essentially had a big exit from that company. That ultimately led to him inventing the Q collar, essentially really having a lot of money. So, again, a lot of times what business owners do and entrepreneurs do, they take these brands that we all know and love, such as Bed Bath & Beyond, who may be going through a tough time. And what they're doing, they're buying the intellectual property of that brand, making some tweaks, adding value, and next thing you know, they're kind of relaunching those brands bigger and better and really kind of taking advantage of kind of what's going on and making a ton of money. So that's essentially what is happening. And I wanted to just tee you guys up before playing the video of the CEO talking about Bed Bath & Beyond. And I think the video was really kind of going back and forth about, I guess, California and kind of the politics with California and why Bed Bath & Beyond, the CEO, said he's not going into California. But I do want to kind of talk about it because I think it's important based on what he said about intellectual property. So let me kind of go to the normal speed. Let me tee this boy up and let's go, man. Leave y'all questions and y'all comments in the comments.
Of California. And while it was a big place for business in the past for Bed Bath & Beyond, it's just too cost prohibitive. At some point, some business needs to take a stand and remind the state of California that while they keep reminding us that they're the fourth largest economy in the world, that's going to dissipate over time.
Thank you. And by the way, you know what Newsom says? I thought Bed Bath & Beyond filed bankruptcy. Oh, there's another one by him, but let me read this as well. After their bankruptcy and closure of every store, like most Americans, we thought Bed Bath & Beyond no longer existed. We wish them well in their efforts to become relevant again as they try to open a second store. Now, he was a little bit more direct than that. So Marcus Lemonis, when you think about him, he had a show. What was it called? The Prophet or something? I think it was called The Prophet.
The Prophet.
He's actually very good. He's very good at what he does.
CNBC.
Very fair. You know, we had an exchange once on X, and then I don't know what happened afterwards, but he actually has.
So this is PBD. I watch a lot of his content, man. He's pretty kind of neutral for the most part, talking about different things that's going on from a business standpoint. I think he just recently sold his insurance company for like $300-400 million. And so he's kind of talking about things that's going on the business front, on the politic front. And the CEO, which I failed to mention earlier, he was actually on the show The Prophet. So that's why I kind of first saw him as The Prophet. I never watched the show, but I used to see all these commercials on The Prophet. And essentially that's what PBD, Patrick Bet-David, is talking about, him being on The Prophet and having an exchange with.
There's a lot of good things to say here. Rob, if you want to play this clip on him reacting to what Newsom said to him, go for it.
Well, I think the thing that was really surprising to me is that I tried to articulate in a non-aggressive way exactly why our company wasn't going to reinvest capital in California. And what I found out this afternoon is that Governor Newsom has enough time to respond to a tweet as opposed to a private DM or having somebody reach out to remind everybody in America that in 2023, before we bought the intellectual property, that the company went out.
And there you go. This exactly is why I had this clip up. For that 3-4 seconds. Let's rewind.
We all know that Bed Bath went out of business a few years ago. That the company went out of business. We all know that Bed Bath went out of business. Remind everybody in America that in 2023, before we bought the intellectual property, that the company went out of business. We all know that Bed Bath went out of business a few years ago. Now we're trying to make a comeback. And I would think that a governor would want to attract.
So what did I just say? That's why I named this place, this actual portion of the show, the cheat code, because that's what essentially rich people are doing. That's what business minds are doing. They're seeing companies who we all know their brand, we all love and know their brand, Bed Bath & Beyond. They're going out of business for one reason or another. However, they have this valuable intellectual property. They have the trademarks. So what did he say? He didn't say they bought the business. What did he say? We bought the intellectual property. And they're essentially making some difference, trying to cut out the fat, keep the good stuff, and relaunch the brand. They're not changing the brand. They're trying to relaunch the brand such that they can take advantage of having the intellectual property, the public knowing and loving the brand and still flocking to it based on the improvements and kind of the good things that they're doing with it, and essentially making more money. And they maybe keep it forever, or they may sell it to a private equity shop or a VC shop. I'm not sure. However, like I said, I did want to bring that up because you guys can participate in this too. I'm looking at this stuff, and maybe I got a leg up because I know the IP and I can kind of search this stuff, and I kind of have a better bargaining position or negotiation position because I know what a good patent is from a bad patent or the trademarks and all that stuff. However, you guys can do this stuff too. You guys can kind of pay attention. And then again, this is going back to what are you spending your time on, as opposed to looking at, okay, The Real Husbands, a Housewife, whatever the reality show is called, or your favorite show. Okay, maybe watch 1 hour show. Don't watch 3-4 hours a day. Look at some business stuff. What's going on in the business world? Some bankruptcies. Who's having a hard time? Can you try to gather a group of people up, maybe buy the IP, rebrand the company, and next thing you know, you are in a driver's seat. So that's essentially why I wanted to play that segment, because the CEO, formerly guy of the Prophet, who they recently just bought Bed Bath & Beyond. They bought the IP, I should say. They're looking to kind of relaunch things, and apparently they're not going to be in California. So unfortunately for Gavin Newsom, they won't be what's his name? I know Brandon, he's in, I think he's in Cali. So looks like you guys may not have Bed Bath & Beyond in Cali, Brandon, but it's all good. It's all good. Let's move on to the next show.